Oh, yeah. It's Paul the Pipe Guy here, live from Rochester, New York. Yeah. And today is the 10th of September already. Yeah. Tomorrow we have September 11th to remember. So it's Wednesday. Let's have a little smoke together. Let's start something on fire. So grab your favorite pipe, grab your favorite blend, and grab your favorite beverage. Yeah, let's start something on fire. It's kind of a bittersweet day. I'll explain that in a moment. So I've got a Mr. Bragg number 89 stand-up pipe. It's 9 millimeter, gorgeous briar. And in that pipe we have, some number 5 blend by, I can't remember if it's Cornell and Deal or it's Sutliff. Yeah. So let's start this on fire and we'll start on our smoke together. Yeah. So, like it was shared before, it's kind of a bittersweet day. And I'll explain that in a moment. Instant gratification. So I'm sitting on my front porch. The postman comes up, delivers a letter to me from some big time law firm. I'm like, great. What could this be? I'll open it up. It's a check made out to me for $647.89. Just shy of $650. And the explanation of the check was there's an overage in your escrow account from the prior seller. So technically, maybe it should have gone to the prior owner of the house. I don't know, but it's addressed to me and I'm going to cash it. And so that was good news, getting $650 today. And then about an hour or so later, my phone starts blowing up. It's my buddies. They're like, did you see that Charlie Kirk was shot? Now, many of you don't know who Charlie Kirk is. Charlie Kirk was shot and killed today. He was a very conservative young man, born in 1993, but acted and maturity level and the way he looked was way beyond his age. And what he would do is he would go to different liberal colleges and he would have an open floor debate with the college students who were liberals. And now, the Constitution says that we have the freedom of speech. So, whether you're an extreme liberal or whether, even I've seen speeches and rallies from the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, where they're up there spreading hate messages. And the police department is smart. They send all black officers, okay, to these KKK rallies, to keep the crowd from going up and hurting these people. And the police chief was like, we have all these black officers here that you hate that are protecting your right of free speech that our Constitution provides. Now, you don't agree with them, okay? The average person probably wouldn't agree with them. I don't hate anybody for their race, color, religion, any of that stuff, you know. And I don't hate those people either. They're just misguided. They're full of hate. And so Charlie would go around to these liberal schools and he would talk about our country, our Constitution, all of that. And you would have the LGBT there, whatever they call themselves. You'd have a bunch of liberals there, college students. And he would say, hey, you know what? If you want to have a debate with me, come on up on stage. And he would have a debate. And he wouldn't berate the person that he was debating. He would just independently take their beliefs apart with truth, wisdom, knowledge, and common sense. And most of them were left speechless. Well, today he was assassinated at a college in Utah. And I have the video of that. It was actually a very, very horrible thing that I saw. He was standing up there with a microphone, actually sitting down in a chair and speaking to someone when a shot rang out and his body went like that. The shot entered right here, right through his jugular vein. And instantly, blood started pouring out, and he was like, oh. And blood it's a 4-second video. Blood is like somebody taking a picture of blood and just dumping it out. It was pouring out of his body. He was killed very, very quickly, and to hear him moan in pain, although he probably didn't feel any pain. You get shot like that, it's just like, you know something's wrong. I've been shot before, and it's like, what the heck? And but he knew it was fatal. And that's a shame that people in this country have to turn to such violence. You know, they tried it on President Trump. They tried to assassinate him. They almost did. It nicked his ear. If he didn't turn around this way, it would have hit him right about there under the left eye. So Charlie's in heaven now. What a shame. Anybody that wants to see the video, I'll share it with you. I'm not going to post it on YouTube, but I have it. And it just came out and probably will be erased off of the internet forever. It was a very horrible thing to witness. So I ended up taking the day off. As if you guys saw yesterday's video, I went for my 3 month teeth cleaning, and man, that girl got deep, like way down to my jawbone with every tool that she used 3 different tools, got down there, and man, I came home, my mouth was just sore. When I woke up this morning, my face was puffy. It still is a little puffy, and my teeth just ached, and so I took a vacation day today. It was like, I'm not going to go in and sit there and polish stainless steel all day long when my mouth feels like I just got kicked by a donkey. But she got it nice and clean, you know. She did her job. So poor Charlie. Can you imagine being his family, seeing that on the internet? He's just sitting there talking, lowers the microphone, a shot rings out and hits him right there, and blood just starts flowing out. And he's just like, he's still holding the microphone. He's going, oh. It was a nightmare to watch. You get hit like that, you bleed like that. And if it came from that side, it probably went through, disconnected his spinal cord at the back of his brain. Probably didn't even know it hit him. And you're bleeding that profusely, 30 seconds, you're dead. At least it was quick for him. So it was nice to get that $650 check in the mail today that I wasn't expecting. God has truly blessed me. I've gotten like 3, 4 checks after closing where they're like, oh, you paid over, oh, you paid too much, oh, you've done this, I've gotten probably $1,000 worth of checks back, which is nice. I know exactly what I'm going to do with that $650. Had to borrow. Ma helped me out a little bit getting this house because they wanted 5% down instead of 3% down. So I had to call my mom and say, look, I don't have enough. So she helped me out. We made an arrangement. I was going to pay her back. I got it half paid back, So that check with about another $350, I'll send Ma $1,000. We're going to take a little break. I got to find my tamper. Yeah. It's like I said, a bittersweet day. Apparently, they still haven't caught the shooter. Geez, I wonder why. They said the shot was fired between 100 and 200 yards away. which makes sense to me. I've been shooting guns all my life, so what I heard on the video sounded like it was probably about 200 yards away. I know ballistics, all right? When that guy was hit, I believe it was probably a 5.56 millimeter fired from an assault rifle with a very good scope, very well sighted in. If it was something like a 30-06 or a 308, if it hits you here, it's going to blow the whole side of your neck off. I've seen damage done by different calibers over the many years I've lived my life. And it's not pretty. So I'd say 5.56 millimeter hollow point. Boom. Because that blood just started instantly. As soon as it got jerked, it started just blowing right out. Pouring out like you had an open can of Campbell's tomato soup. Just like that quick. You only got to lose about 3 quarts of blood and you're dead already. And that blood was pissing out of him like somebody took the drain plug out of your oil pan. Well, rest in peace, Charlie. I don't know. Ain't too many guys were like him that could go on a campus that were that schooled, that could take on, liberals and debate with them right on the stage. Whatever they came up with, he dismantled them. Wow. I don't know. I don't believe in that kind of stuff, Even the liberals, some of the liberals that I hate the most, and I don't hate them, they have freedom of speech. As much as I might dislike their way of thinking and what they say, I don't believe in, assassinating someone for that. That's just ridiculous. We are going to end up in a civil war, though. I promise you. It's not going to happen during Trump's administration. What's going to happen, and I'm just forecasting this, I'm not saying I'm going to be a part of it, because I won't. This country's going to go at war with each other after Trump's out of office, and if they vote a Democratic president, and this country right now has already been at each other's throats so badly. If they get a Democratic president and that's very liberal, there will be, in my prediction, a civil war that will involve bloodshed and a lot of violence. And like I said, I'm not going to be a part of that. That's just my prediction. There's a lot of younger folks I know that they're ready for it, They're definitely ready. They're keeping quiet. They're not telling anybody what they have in their gun safes or any of that stuff. They're not saying nothing. But they're ready. Most of them are military. Most of them are police officers. They are definitely ready to roll. So we've graduated to a cigarette. So those people that I'm talking to you about, they're ready to roll, not in a hate fashion. They're ready to roll if the government crosses the line and threatens the Constitution of the United States. They are prepared to defend it. Many of them have taken oaths to defend the Constitution from, I forget the exact wording, from outside influences or enemies from within the country. They're sworn that they will protect the Constitution at any length that it takes. And they are definitely ready to roll. I mean, some of my best friends are liberals, okay? Uh, Not all my friends are, but some of them are. Um, and, we've kind of, sometimes we'll talk about it a little bit, but it never gets heated. Um, my friends that are liberals don't believe in being able to abort a baby 2 years after it's born. My friends that are liberals don't believe in aborting a late-term abortion. My friends that are liberals don't believe in a lot of the things that the far left believe in. They're more centered. They're kind of like President Kennedy, who was a Democrat, those type of Democrats that they have some common sense, and they're not evil people, but they're further to the left. They're more humanitarianism type of people and so forth. Yeah, they welcome the immigrants here, the illegal aliens, but they don't want criminals here in our United States. They just look upon them like they're people that are fleeing from other countries for a reason, seeking asylum here, and they approve of that. I personally don't. I think you got to get in here the right way. Look, I feel bad for those people that are in suffrage in other countries. But that's not, it is our problem in the United States, but we have to react to it responsibly. We can't just open the doors and let everybody in. We have to properly vet them, make sure they're not gang members, whatever, and they have to come here legally. So if you're outside the city gates of the United States, the freest nation in the world, the best nation in the world, I'm sorry, but you just can't walk across my border, okay, and come here illegally. You just can't do it. You can't do it with any other country either. You couldn't go into their country illegally. You'd be shot at the border. Anyways, I'm Paul the Pipe Guy. Yep. Peace to everyone. Love one another. Yeah. I'm kind of in between a conservative and I'm a moderate conservative. I'm not a liberal at all by any stretch of the imagination. But if there's a middle between being conservative or liberal, I'm kind of leaning this way, about 25% conservative. Maybe, probably a little more than that, I guess. It doesn't matter. This is YouTube. This is the YouTube Pipe community. We're supposed to love one another. Yeah. Peace, everyone. Yeah. Paul the Pipe Guy over, but not out. Yeah.